Also, most mages exploit their abilities and start using them from the beginning of puberty until late adolescence by gathering the essence in their bodies into one point, which is called the essence of mana. Mastering the control of the essence of mana allows a person to become a mage. I have some background in controlling a power similar to this from my past life, because I was able to control the key that represents the awareness of a person's inner strength and manage it before releasing it. Then he began to think and asked himself, will the knowledge I have from my past life serve as a weapon in this life and this world? He started to focus and tried to control the essence of mana, and it seemed he was indeed able to do this. However, his mother interrupted him, saying, "You made me worry about you. Don't do this again." She then looked at him in surprise, thinking she discovered something, but she said to him, "It seems you excelled." Arthur replied, "How embarrassing." His mother then took him to change his diaper, and he thought to himself, "This body is still a prison. I need to gain more strength and control myself better." After 2 years, Arthur's mother was writing her daily diary and started praising her son, saying he was the most beautiful and smartest child in the world. But there was one problem. He hadn't smiled even once since he was born. Then looking out the window, she saw that Arthur was sitting with his father, practicing with a stick like a sword. His father was very impressed and said, "It seems you are talented." He called for his mother to see what Arthur was doing, but she was very angry and said, "What are you doing with my sweet boy?" He replied, "I didn't do anything. I was just showing him how to use the sword." She scolded him, saying, "How can you do this?" He just started walking. Arthur thought, "It seems I've learned how things work in this world. It looks like this entire world operates under a mother's control." Later, on their way to the city, Arthur was screaming with joy, thinking that his visit to the city had provided him with a lot of information. He said that using weapons would allow him to control some technology and power of this world. He also gained insights about some stones he saw for the first time, which didn't exist in his world, and he had amazing opportunities to see magic. His visit to this city was indeed fruitful. Later, they were on their way home, and Arthur fell asleep from exhaustion. He was thinking, "This family is taking care of all my needs, even though this life suffocates me. It isn't entirely bad." Then he began to wonder, shouldn't family always be like this? He started remembering some bleak scenes from his past life when his parents left him at an orphanage as a baby, and he grew up there, which wasn't a good life. That's why he said, "Feeling the warmth of this family is nice." While Arthur was sleeping, his mother began talking to him, saying, "Do you know I love the things you do? Like sneaking off to read books and always pretending to be asleep when you're not. It seems you've inherited these traits from your father. The day will come when you decide to escape to see the outside world." The next day, Arthur watched his father using magic and thought, "I'm very lucky to have a live example from whom I can learn what I want." Arthur's father was using magic to move stones when his mother came from behind and said, "It seems we have a chance to see your father's power." Indeed, his father used a very powerful spell that left Arthur amazed, and he thought, "It seems my father is of the enhancement type." Later, Arthur's father took him to go to sleep. But he didn't want that. He wanted to read a book. His mother refused, but he looked at her with innocent eyes until she let him do what he wanted. She initially resisted but eventually gave in to his wishes and let him read the book. During this time, Arthur said that in these 2 years, he discovered many things, but the most important was discovering his ability to produce mana cores, gathering all the essence parts in his body to concentrate in one point. Learning this was very hard, but it seems my training finally paid off. Meanwhile, Arthur's father was outside resting when suddenly a huge explosion happened in the house. Arthur's father was able to save his mother, and when he realized what happened, he was very worried about Arthur. He rushed home to check on their son and managed to find him, being shocked at what he saw. He thought, "My son hasn't even turned 3 yet, but he managed to control the essence of mana." Arthur was very happy with his progress, but suddenly some wooden beams fell and he thought he was going to die. However, his parents saved him at the last moment. Arthur thought, "I have a family that loves me, doing everything to make sure I'm safe." Arthur's mother started crying, affected by what happened, but she was also very happy that her son was all right. In this situation, Arthur began to remember some events from his old life when he used to see parents worrying and caring for their children while he was always alone. Tears also started flowing from Arthur, just like his parents, and he didn't know why this was happening, as he had never experienced these feelings in his past life. He hugged his mother and began to cry for the first time in his life, saying, "I wish someone would explain to me what's happening exactly." After these dramatic events, a dangerous monster appeared, and it seems that there are serious and exciting things about to happen.